Namaskar Saganna, and I'm Vedant. I'm basically from Pune, and yes, so as Krishna told you, we met in IIT Madras for during a summer training, and then I've been following the startup journey since then. It is very remarkable about regarding what he is doing, and it's a really nice thing. So yeah, so what happened is I did my bachelor's from Sinhagad College of Engineering, Pune, and over there, so initially, as all students go through that particular phase wherein you're pretty confused what to do, what not to do, you keep on juggling between subjects. Like first you want to go into genetics and molecular biology, then you get cell biology, then immuno comes and hits you, then you fall in love with that subject, but then you still you still keep on figuring out what to do, what not to do. And trust me, even I was going through the same thing, and it was in my final year that I came across fermentation, and I really liked that topic. I started liking bioprocess, to be specific. I started going deeper and deeper into it, and it helped me. And I figured out during my fourth year, first sem, or by the end of fourth year, first sem, that yeah, this is what I want to do my career in. And yes, then there is obviously the obvious choice for all the biotech people that let's go do an MBA, let's change our field altogether. There's lots more money there. So yeah, these thoughts also went through my mind. But then I decided, no, this is what I have. This is what I want to pursue my career in. And then yeah, so decided to. I filled out all these forms like what all people do: CSIR, DBT, BITP, GATE, all these forms all together. So what happened was, basically throughout my engineering, in the first, like throughout my engineering, I wouldn't say that I was like a super bright student, but yes, I used to study just one day before the exam. But whatever I used to study pretty decently. I was in the top five rankers of Pune University. That essentially was my class. But then what? So why I'm telling you this, I'll elaborate it in the future further parts. So yes, then again, I decided to give all these exams for fellowships, and one thing that I was sure about and was that I didn't want to go for masters abroad, considering that I need to strengthen my base first. And if I had to go, and if I decide to pursue uh, anything further, I want to do it in India from at least till masters, because again, the amount of financial burden that we have to raise or take on ourselves, along with the uncertainty for job over there. Because from my many of my seniors, I had heard how students or many of my seniors in the US, they had to like go for a PhD, not out of choice, but because they didn't get any jobs, and PhD was an option to go there, get some stipend, and just continue. So I'm not discouraging the people who are giving GRE or want to go to Germany. Europe is a great option, but I'm just telling you that is my personal opinion. So what happened was before I gave GATE in 2016. So in December I had a major operation, ligament tear operation. So basically I was just in bed for a long period of time, and in the end, to be really honest, I studied for around 12-15 days dedicatedly for this exam, GATE exam. And so I gave GATE biotechnology, and I would just in brief tell you about how I studied for GATE. So the main thing that you need to do is, so the books that I referred was Pathfinder for Biotechnology, Arihant's Biotechnology, and then MCQs by Pathfinder again. So what I did was I first immediately took 2-3 papers of GATE previous year's question papers. I just solved them immediately. Then I got a general gist of how the questions are. Then I focused on the topics in which for which the weightage was more, and I studied those topics first properly. After every 2-3 days, I gave the question paper. I appeared like I solved the question paper again, like timed it. And the questions for which I couldn't solve the answers, I tried to look for answers again and again. So you make sure you don't leave any questions when you are solving question papers. And it is not about just studying altogether. It is about solving as many questions as much as you can. because then you will study a lot, but when you go in the exam and the question is asked like in a completely different way, and it might throw you off track altogether. And one thing I like previously, I told you like you have to study consistently. So studying consistently helped me to like accelerate my pace of learning in these last 10 to 15 days. And trust me, I did study very sincerely in these last few days. And studying continuously throughout my engineering, it helped me a lot because my base was strong. I wouldn't say it was like super strong, but it was pretty decent, and then I had to build on it. That's it. But if you don't study altogether and then you're saying okay, now I have to crack it, then yes, you can crack it, but then you have to put in more efforts, put in more time. And it is an exam, it has a pattern, you just know how to crack it. So yeah, that was about gate. If so, then after giving gate, I was like my gate so basically gate percentile or gate score, it doesn't matter at all. What matters is your AIR. So every year there is a different AIR for a same score. So if you get 50 this year, paper is very easy, your AIR may be in 400s. But if you get 50 in some difficult year paper, your AIR might be in the top 50 or something. So my AIR was 326. So this AIR was like decent. It was not super good. It was not super bad. And I had got calls from IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, and IIT Guwahati. So what happens is just cracking an exam doesn't get you an entrance into any of these institutions. It just opens the gate for you to come in, and then they have their own entrance exam. And then once you crack their entrance exam, you have an interview again. Now, just a statistic that I'll give you for IIT Madras, what I faced was like they called us there. We had to select which stream we want to give the written test in. I chose biological engineering, and then came around 400 people over there. I was completely baffled by the number of people who were there, and I was like, it was not possible to crack this now. But then I just gave the exam, stuck to the basics, solved all the questions properly, be very careful of negative marking, and then they shortlisted 11 out of those students, all those students. And after, for those 11, they took our interview and they shortlisted 5. So to get into these institutions, the competition is super tough, and you need to have your basics straight properly. For the students who are in their third year and fourth year, or fourth year especially, or who are doing the projects, I would suggest that you put your heart and soul into your project. Do your project really nicely, know the inside and out of your project, do as many things as you can, as much as you can, read a lot of research papers, see what techniques they have used, try and incorporate those techniques in your project. And don't keep on saying okay, my college doesn't have these facilities, this is not there. Find out. There are places, and mostly in your masters or bachelors, you won't get funding from the college. If you're in a really good college, then fine. But then if you spend initially from your pocket, you have a team, so it gets split properly. But make sure you get your things done properly. Don't sit and just think about the problems that you're going to face. Because even after bachelor's, you decide to go for your job, masters, you decide to go for a job. A fresher is judged based on the marks, obviously. And the second is your project. All the interviews will be based on your project, nothing else. Trust me on this. They will just ask you, what did you do in your project? Why did you, how did you do that? And how did you go about that? They would just want to know about that. Regarding paper publication, yes, definitely. If you get one paper publication, it's well and good. But I would suggest that you know the inside and out of your project. So yeah, so once, and yeah, so even in IIT Roorkee, when I had gone for the interview, over there, my AIR was 326, as I told you, and there were people with me who had AIR 5, 4, 80, somewhere like that. And again, by the time I had got IIT Madras, so I actually had nothing to lose over there. So I just gave the interview again, like very confidently. And over there, only 3 seats were there. And my rank was third there again. A girl with AIR was there. Her rank was behind me. So even if you don't get a good AIR, but you get a good opportunity or a call from any of the IITs, you have it in your hands to convert it. So that's why I'm telling you, your basics need to be strong, and your project needs to, and whatever your project might be, if you're in a college where you don't have resources, try and whatever project that you're doing, do it with, or pour your heart and soul into it, and that will be your ticket to any good institution. So then, yes, when I got into IIT Madras, so I got into a course called MS in biological engineering. And once my course was done, they started MTech in bioprocess as well. So yeah, so MS in biological engineering. So over there, mine was a research-based course. We had to have, so it was a 3-year course, but you could finish it sooner. I luckily was able to finish it sooner in 2 years. And then so getting into a big institution is also not, your journey doesn't end there, it actually starts there. The struggle there to compete with your peers, to perform and to match your standards to everyone is also, it needs consistency, it needs a certain amount of discipline which you need to have altogether. So it is in your college life, if you just develop a certain discipline, and whatever it might be, like, okay, I'll study for some time, I'll read continuously, I'll keep up myself updating, that is something that you need to develop. And if you develop it now, then you will have a very smooth journey throughout your education life, once you go for a job or PhD anywhere, I think. Yeah, so then what was I going to say? Yeah, so IIT Madras, so then your research, you need to do your research nicely, study, read a lot of papers. And main thing is, wherever our seniors are, you talk to your seniors a lot, you converse with them, you learn, you get to know what all things they have learned, how you can do things in a better way, how you can do things fast, and what all things you can incorporate, what all things they have done, or how you can build on them. But before going to your seniors for any kind of advice or any research or anything, I would suggest you do your own reading before, so that whatever they say shouldn't be your baseline. You should have your own baseline, and you should add on from whatever advice you get from other people. So you should have your own individual strategy. Never go and try to replicate anyone else's strategy. Take that in writing from me. So yeah, so then after IIT Madras also, what happened was, like, my course finished sooner. And yeah, once I got into IIT, I was thinking that yes, I now enough of biotech, I will go and sit for non-core placements for some bank or anything, and I will get a very, very awesome package, and I'm done with biotech then. So I joined there, I gave the finance club exam, I cracked that as well. I joined a finance club, attended all the sessions. But by the end of 6 months, they had an alumni session in the end. And they were just telling us, they came and they were telling, our life is from Monday to Friday. We are just crunching numbers. No matter wherever you go, it's just numbers, numbers. We work from morning 8 to 8, night 9, 10, and all these things. By the time my research had also started, and I had developed like, I was getting more and more into my project, like it was fermentation based. So, and then I realized, no, I shouldn't just think about money as of now. And then I dropped the plan to go to non-core altogether. And so, as I told you, I had this thought in my BTech as well, and immediately in the first year of my master's as well. And in the latter part of my master's also, I was thinking, okay, should I do an MBA? Should I go to non-core? But then again, every time I used to start working, I used to feel, no, this is something that I want to do. But again, this is my personal opinion. Some of you might want to shift with a very good reason as well. And if you want to, you can go, definitely. So then after IIT Madras, so I was in talks with a professor from Denmark, wherein she had called me. I met her at a conference at IIT Guwahati, and she had called me, like, you come and I'll take you for a PhD over here. So it was going to be in collaboration with Novozymes. So what happened was, I was like, it was almost a done deal, and I was like very chill, I was at home, and in the end it just came crashing through. They had a lot of problems there. One departmental change, something shut down, then the professor shifted the department. There was a lot of problem, and it didn't materialize. So what and then what happened at that point was that I was also in talks with the director of Novozymes, and then he said, okay, this is I like you, so you just come here for an internship as of now. So after my masters, technically, the thing that was I was very sure about that I had in my hand, it just vanished in one moment, and then I got an internship from Novozymes. So but technically, I would have preferred a job, and I would have preferred to go for a PhD. But then what I want to say is, not all things in your life go as you plan them to be. Sometimes you are very, very near, and the things just go from your hand like that. So what I want to tell you here is that you need to have backup in your life. Like you can't just rely on one exam, like GATE or CSIR I'll crack, DBT I'll crack, or BITP I will crack. You never know what will go wrong. So you have to place your bets on numerous things and keep on trying. So meanwhile, when you're giving all the exams, you have to apply for jobs, internships, all the things that are there possible, so that you have all kinds of backups, and you need to have a choice that what you can do. You just can't place all your bets on one horse. So yeah, so then I was in Novozymes. So Novozymes, I was an intern there. I worked nicely. I was in a department called Regional India Innovation. I will talk about Novozymes afterwards. But yeah, and yes, I was looking for jobs. That was not my core. It was an enzyme application based. It was R&D. It was something that I was liking. I got a lot of exposure as well over there in a different. It was an allied industry, not my core. And then yes, for almost a year or so, I was looking for jobs, not getting any because of core. And yes, you might say, "Ki don't companies come to IITs for placements?" They do, but a lot of companies and IITs come for placement, and again they look for biotech people in a non-core industry. And whoever comes there, there are some bioinformatics companies that come, but then I didn't want to go into bioinformatics or any sort of programming things. I had done programming in MATLAB, but they needed someone on statistics, R language, and all these things. So that is why IIT's placements, as I was telling you, companies come for placements, but they are not for hardcore core industries that I wanted. Main reason is, again, they feel so. Okay, there are other reasons, I won't get into them, but yeah. So that is why I didn't sit for placements in IIT. And then what happened was, there was just a LinkedIn post by my manager over here in Biocon. I applied for it, and after 2 rounds of interviews, like a big presentation and all, I got selected here as a principal scientist in Biocon. So what I want to say is, now there over here, while getting selected, the tag of IIT helped me a lot. So what happens is, there are different levels, hierarchy levels in Biocon. It starts from scientists, then you have senior scientists, then you have principal scientists. So technically, I was a fresher. I am a fresher in this industry, and I was hired directly at principal scientist. Only reason is my tag, IIT Madras. So people from IIT, they directly hire at principal scientist level, who have done their masters. So this is where your education matters, and the experience that I'm getting here is really nice. And regarding internships, yes, I had done one internship in my bachelor's. It had helped me just before my project. I had done it. It helped me a lot during my final year project. And then after your bachelor's or after your master's, going for an internship, your only aim is should be to convert it into a job. And within the first month, you get to know if it can be converted into a job or not. And even if you are into an internship, since the day, even if it is your day one, you shouldn't stop looking for other jobs. And for people who are doing the BSc, I would strongly, very strongly suggest you to go for your MSc. Don't try and look for jobs after BSc at all. And like MSc is very essential now, because the thing is, you might say there are a lot of jobs in IT. Why are they getting a lot of package? Like biotech people, why are they getting a lot of, why aren't there so many jobs? Why are they getting less package? So I'll just tell you this very simple thing is, like in IT, there is a lot of demand and there is a lack of skilled manpower. So the high packages that they get is because of the skilled manpower that they're getting. If you see at many people who are just hired at ground level, they don't have that high packages. In Biocon, you have opposite. In biotech again. In biotech, you have the opposite. You have a lot of manpower available. You have a lot of PhDs. You have a lot of master students who are out there in the market, and the positions are limited. When I was in Novozymes, there was a research associate position opening, and for that, there were around 1,500 applications. And people who had a PhD had applied for that, for a basic starting level position. So the competition is fierce, and you need to have something that helps you stand out, and not trying to put any kind of pressure or like load on you, but it is something that is what the reality is. You can't hide from the reality, and opportunities are there. You need to develop the skills to talk to people, to get things done. But for that, you need to have something in your hand. You need to have some selling power that why should the other person take you? You should have something unique for the company to hire you, or if you want to go for a PhD anywhere else, why should abroad or anywhere, they should be you should have something so that they'll accept you, something unique, something that gives you an edge over all the others. Now in Biocon, my learning curve has been literally exponential. The way things we do things in academia, people say there's a big gap in academia industry. The main gap that I felt was time. So it's like we take some 50-liter batches like this in order to understand how the trend is going and all these things. So that batch is planned in 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. We discuss things, we just write a protocol, we give it to the pilot plant people, they'll execute batches, we'll analyze them immediately, we'll plan the trials in 1 or 2 hours, do some literature, and then immediately start off the trials. It's not like, okay, let's take 1 week for literature, then we'll sit, we'll discuss, then again go back to literature, then sit, discuss, and plan trials. No, you have to plan something, you have to get it done something. Maximum that you'll get is 1 day, 2 days if it's a big thing, and you have some analysis to do. You have a batch result coming in 1.5 meetings, you have to prepare graphs, go for a meeting. So the main thing is time. It's like you start running even before you can crawl. That's how it is. So sometimes, yes, I sometimes still feel no, this isn't how things should be done, because this is not a sustainable approach. But this is how the industries are working. At least the Indian ones. I have been in Novozymes as well, which is headquartered in Denmark. And here now working in Biocon, I feel the pace of work is way faster in Biocon. We don't waste time at all. We just work. It's not the workload, but you will get that job satisfaction when you're doing something you like. And yes, I'll just share one small thing as well. I forgot to mention it. While I was in Novozymes as an intern, I applied for this World Talent Campus in biotechnology manufacturing. So it is a program hosted by Denmark Technical University, wherein they invite 25 students from all over the world. And I just given an application, a letter of recommendation from my guide, and I got selected. So they selected 25 students from all over the world. And for almost 7-8 days, we were in Denmark. We visited all the big industries. They gave us lots of lectures, and it was an all paid trip. Like from your visa till you take a taxi to the airport, reach there and come back. It was an all paid for trip. So it is something that was possible mainly because of IIT tag again. So and there are some good institutions like ICT also. Many people know about ICT in Mumbai. Like I know few people who had gone for that program before from that institute. That's why I'm telling ICT specifically. But even other good universities are there. But mainly, yeah, these Institute of Eminences or these national level institutes, they give you an edge. So cracking them, doing a master's from a good university does matter a lot. So that was my journey.